You may be watching this transmission. It is I, Mike Martins. Thank you so much for joining me for another special, eventful episode of Trends in the Housing Market. Thanks for joining me. I'm just looking at these new analytics here in the background. Sorry, guys. Everything's changing in the background of YouTube every couple of weeks. There's always some major changes, and you got to relearn the system. And YouTube is every couple of weeks. It's like, imagine like changing the language on an instruction manual every couple of weeks. You got to learn a new language every time. That's what YouTube is doing. So there it is, guys. I'm not sure if I'm live. Yeah, I think you guys could see me there. Anyways, welcome, where we take housing and housing discussion and turn it on its head and make it entertaining. And lots going on, and I've got quite a few messages from either real estate agents, people from just regular home, people on the sidelines looking to buy a home, people in the like sideline market, you know what I mean? Like just people from all over walks of life from Seattle messaging me and saying that housing market is on fire there. Housing is on fire, and there's a lot of money being parked there, like huge amounts of money. So the only way they could do this is, the only way Seattle could do this, like Seattle's, it's good because they could blame it. They could blame it on the tech companies and the jobs. So you're trying to tell me that anywhere that you get a job opening or some sort of job creation, whether it's in technical, whether it's production in like factories, that housing is going to become unaffordable? I think it should be the complete opposite. But what's happening right now, it's very interesting. In Seattle, they're trying to blame the tech companies. Somebody wrote me a very detailed email from King County and told me this. It was like, Mike, you're 100% spot on right. It's not the tech companies. And they're getting the tech companies to bail out and create affordable housing when 1 in 3 homes in Seattle are empty, vacant, foreign invested. But 4 or 5 years ago, this wasn't the case. Since when, housing becomes unaffordable when there's jobs available? That makes absolutely no sense. It makes zero sense. Okay, guys, so we got the comments flying right now. And let's do a quick channel plug here. Let's go to... Yeah. Trends in the housing market. Episode, I don't even know anymore what episode we're on because we have lost episodes. We have lost episodes. I think episodes of my shows keep getting deleted saying that they're bullying and stuff, and I don't know what I'm saying to bully people. So we got Mike saying, Mike, how are you not in jail right now after your last 2 videos? I'm not sure what was bad about those last 2 videos. Propping everything up, love the government.
Some people in Portland held a sleep out at
there's
City Hall
talking.
in
Hold on, it's
support
going to
of the
flag my
homeless throughout the
See,
city.
YouTube's
The
working
event
with
was
other
organized
companies and
by some
stuff.
people affected by Portland's
Yeah, Portland housing, yeah, unaffordability levels. Anyways, okay, so let's go back. Let's go to article scan, guys. All right, trends in the housing market. Let's do a quick channel plug real quick here, if you guys don't mind. Guys, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, be part of the channel. If you guys don't mind subscribing, being part of the channel. Let's look at my last 2 videos. What was wrong with my last 2 videos? Why am I not in jail? Driving fines out of hand, and 1 in 7 small businesses is set to close. I'm not too sure what's wrong with my last 2 videos. I don't see why they throw me in jail. But nowadays, you go to jail for anything nowadays. You know what I'm saying? They just find a way to put you away because they don't like you. Okay. Here we go, guys. Don't forget to shop on Teespring, guys. Links on top of the channel, on the YouTube channel. Guys, I got the new Merit Stalker mug, and I got the new Merit Stalker face mask. So if you guys want a face mask, there's one here for the Merit Stalker. If you haven't seen the Merit Harassment series on my channel, please check it out. It's really good. And guys, again, I'm at war with YouTube, Facebook and YouTube, every social media platform. They do not want to make me a public figure because I am not credible. They say I'm not credible, I'm not real. And I have 115,000 people that like this page. And it's really sad to see. So if you guys want to message me there on Facebook, go ahead. And like I know people that have 2,000 followers and they're a public figure. Oh well. Instagram, guys, if you want to message me here on Instagram. I saw them Instagram trials today where Facebook and all those devil companies are just screwing with people's lives, man. They're just screwing with people's lives and corporations and allowing, yeah. Anyways, guys, today I shorted, Tuesday, I shorted El Dorado Gold and I shorted New Gold Inc. So I shorted these two gold companies. So I always do the opposite of what the markets are doing. Always do the opposite. Okay, so that's done. That's done. So I'm saying that now. So later I'm going to say, guys, you know I shorted these gold companies. You'll be like, why would you tell us after it went down like 30%? I'm like, well, you know, I'm not going to pull one of those. You know what I'm saying? All right, let's go to, where are we going here? Where are we going? All right, let's get to some headlines here. And, okay, guys, well, let's get a drum roll. Like, let's get a drum roll, please. Let's get a drum roll. All right, guys, this $1 million in Toronto. Let me zoom that in. That's it. $1 million right there. Don't mistaken it for, I can't even fit a car in there. This is not even the size of a garage. You can't even fit a vehicle in here if you tried. $1 million. Well, come on. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Yeah. That's $1 million right there. $1 million. This Toronto house just hit the market for $1 million. That's about 700,000 American dollars for this beaut. A tiny 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom just hit the market for $999,000. A rare detached bungalow in the heart of Toronto. There it is. $1 million. Later on in the show, we're going to see what we could buy in the States for 30 grand. Detached. 3 times the size of that. $1 million. People don't understand. Oh, but interest rates are low, Mike. It's cheap to borrow $1 million. No, because you're going to pay it off 5 times. I'd rather pay 9% interest and pay the damn thing off in a few years than pay no interest and then end up, or a little amount of interest and end up having to pay the house off 5 times because the amortization is so damn long. TJH is saying, I see bidding wars on that house. Oh, yeah. See, bidding wars. This is going to get warmed up. This is going to get warmed up. Let's move on here. Now, I can't... Big Time Mike just sent me $7.99 Australian. Thank you very much. Keep up the good work, bro. Thank you so much. That's my first super chat for the month. Thank you so much, Big Time Mike. Now, it's gotten so bad... It's gotten so bad with the Seattle housing market and me discussing it and stuff that my IP address has been blocked from like 4 news pages there. Yeah. So let me read what the headline says. It won't let me go in to see it. It says like IP something. It says, pandemic? What pandemic? Seattle area home prices keep going up. So this is from a day ago. Listen to this. Deep into the pandemic, prices for Seattle homes were still rising faster than any other major city in the country. So there it is. It won't let me open this article. It's on Reddit if you guys want to see it, but it won't let me open it. So there it is. Seattle home area prices keep rising fast. And let me tell you why. Let me tell you why they're rising fast. So I like how this is the Seattle Times too. Pandemic. What pandemic? I love how they actually say that. Like, what pandemic? But now let me tell you guys something. Watch this. Here's the reason why. They keep blaming it on tech companies. and forcing the tech companies to fork out money to make affordable housing. Watch this. Foreign buyers overlooking Vancouver, heading to Seattle in a frantic pace. I covered this on my channel like in 2017, and you guys have no idea what happens. Whoa, Charles G sent me $6.99 Canadian. That's my second super chat for the month. Thank you. The month's coming to an end. Okay. Here it is, guys. So, foreign buyers overlooking Vancouver heading to Seattle in frantic pace. This is in November 12th, 2017. Now, you guys think a month or 2 months after this article came out, they stopped going to Seattle? No, they're still going to Seattle. And they've been parking a ton of cash in King County. We're talking so much cash that the locals there, that a lot of these cities, whoa, DeJano Ferreira, Hamong sent $13.99 Canadian. Might keep bringing us real money. Might keep bringing us real money. There it is. The Django Ferreira, $13.99. That's my third super chat for the month. Thanks, guys. All right, stop sending me money. It's good. I'm okay. All right, foreign buyers overlooking Vancouver heading to Seattle in frantic pace from 2017 on my channel. Here it is.
Some people in Portland held a sleep out at City Hall in support of the
What, this
homeless
stupid
throughout
thing
the
again?
city. The event
Nobody cares. All right, let's go back here.
I've been talking about this for the last 6-7 months, if you've been watching my channel.
6-7 months from November 12th, 2017.
Foreign buyers overlooking Vancouver heading to Seattle at a frantic pace. I don't know if you guys remember, I've been talking about this for ages on my Trends in the Housing Market. I talk about Seattle all the time, where they've been making brochures in Chinese and foreign languages, Mandarin, Chinese, and Cantonese, for people, for investors to come down. A lot of the real estate agents in Vancouver went down to work with their Seattle counterparts down in the south to bring to southern part, south of Vancouver, to bring their expertise and their clients to. So this has been happening for a long time now, and Seattle's market is off the hook. So
this is from 2017. Now, let's go back to today. I can't even get into these articles. They won't let me in. Pandemic? What pandemic? Seattle housing prices keep going up. There's no signs of breaking. Whoa! What do you think is going to happen when you introduce foreign money into a city or into a county or an area that it's like taking salt water, okay, and dumping it into a lake. And you're constantly dumping salt water into a lake. The money tries to dissolve, or the salt tries to dissolve and break down in the lake. But no, it's not happening. There's now the salt water is overpowering the fresh water. The salt water is telling the fresh water, get out, fresh water. We know you were here first. We know you built this lake, and we know that you contributed to the infrastructure of this lake. Get lost. This is salt water now, and that's what's happened. And now in Seattle, frantic pace. And you know why? Do you know why this happened? Because this is the time when Vancouver introduced the foreign buyers tax. Foreign buyers overlooking Vancouver heading to Seattle at a frantic pace. And you think this stopped after I read this article? This kept going full blast, selling out the country. Yep, drive prices up. So VC is saying, hello, Mike in the night. Mike in the night, I'm going to try and come in and see you in Merritt, one way on the raid to Sorrento, BC, from North Vancouver in the next few weeks. I'll be there. You know what days I'm there. Mitch Madden is saying, okay, stimulus must keep coming, but here's the deal. This Seattle's propped up housing market isn't from stimulus. It's from offshore money. They keep blaming Amazon, Google, Facebook, Reddit, I don't know, those stupid companies. They're blaming these companies because of the affordability of housing. Since when in history do you see housing become unaffordable because there's a job available for someone to work? It makes no sense. No sense. Pandemic? What pandemic? Seattle home prices keep going up like there's no pandemic. There it is from 2 days ago. Too bad they don't let me go in and read that. But they know why. They know I know why. Foreign buyers overlooking Vancouver and heading to Seattle in a frantic pace. All right, another big story for tonight. UK housing market forecasts to the end of the year with a £27 billion deficit. So I'm not sure what is happening in the UK, but prices are coming down really fast. They're coming down really fast. And I know UK prices were going up before COVID. And before COVID, England was launching a massive advertising in China. Because the majority of people that live in London, they're not even English. And they're just, it's all empty properties. But unfortunately, a lot of people that live in London, the very few people that still live in London are very heartbroken. I received an email from Mark Thompson, I forgot. He sent me an email telling me that the drastic changes that he's seen in England, in London, England, and it's changed neighborhoods completely. The people no longer are there. A lot of people that he went to school with have left the city. They can't afford to stay. So it's been happening right across the Commonwealth, right? But for some reason, the United Kingdom is they're equating to a multi-billion pound shortfall that's going to equate to 124,000 property sales, the online real estate portal said. So they're already preparing for a huge drop. And all these empty homes, and now they're advertising houseboats. Look at that houseboat. People can't live on land anymore. People cannot live on land anymore. It's too expensive. And this is last week's big story, and I still want to bring it up this week to create awareness for people down in Australia. There are 2 vacant properties for each homeless person in New South Wales. That is a very big deal for people living in Australia that are homeless. And a lot of people, the scary part is, a lot of people have college degrees. A lot of people have high level of education. And no, it's not the mental health. No, there's a lot of people that are homeless that are not struggling with mental health issues, that are not struggling with about 37,175 people. That's 68,000 properties sit vacant in New South Wales. That's a lot of people. I mean, and I'm not saying to give people free homes. No. Some people are on some of these, mere pensions, small pensions, enough to get by with a one-room rental, but they can't even afford that. Can't afford to live on land. Joe R. in the comments says the Fed will let the market go to negative rates. Rainier Mola in the house just coming in. Yes, negative rates 6 to 8 months away. Oh, yeah, I've been foretelling it on this channel for years, not months or weeks, years. They're going to go off cash system, and they're going to go negative. Mike Block Home just sold down the road for me, $55,000 in Coleman, Florida. That's from Sam Smart. So VC is saying these days with every move you decide to make, you must consider flooding and downstream from the dam. Yeah, just ask China. You also want to know where the volcanoes are. Yeah, so basically they're not looking for tomorrow. Or these politicians don't care about tomorrow. They just want to make the economy look good right now. And I'm not talking about Donald Trump.
Out at City Hall
this thing's playing again.
Throughout the city.
Holy crap, this thing's playing again. All right, I think it plays every 5 minutes. All right, so those are the bigger stories. Now, let's go over some better dwelling stories. Here it is. Greater Toronto new home sales fall to the lowest level in over a decade. Greater Toronto new home buyers are holding back, especially when it comes to condo apartments. Atlas Group show prices increased in June, with new condos hitting all-time highs. We covered that last week. Prices are going up. The price increase was driven by low demand, though. BC continues multi-year decline of first-time homebuyers. Again, people can't afford to live in this province anymore. Where I bought my house for $260. My house is like $450,000 right now. Nobody, like the Canadian proper, cannot afford to buy in their own territory. It's finished. We're not America. America, they have more major cities in the state of New York than we have in all of Canada. In New York, they have Albany, Rochester, Buffalo, Syracuse, Manhattan, Bronx, Queens, all the boroughs. There's more major cities in the state of New York than all of Canada across coast to coast. We don't have a chance in hell. Land is too expensive in Canada. Okay, so first-time homebuyers. BC continues multi-year decline of first-time homebuyers. So what are they going to do? More first-time homebuyer loans? Am I going to make a first-time homebuyer loan video and watch out for first-time homebuyer loans as a trap? And they're going to ban me from YouTube for making that video? British Columbia is running out of first-time buyers despite falling prices. Government of British Columbia filings show first-time homebuyers made a small increase in June compared to the month before. However, this increase wasn't big enough to reach last year's level. The province continues a multi-trend of declining first-time homebuyers. I want to continue actually looking at this because this is actually very important. Because if there it is. The first-time homebuyers in BC per month. So there is January, February, March. So there it is there. So, okay, there it is. So we got 2018, 2019. Yeah, it's dropping. You can't get first-time home buyers in a situation like they just can't afford it. You if you're an average wage earner, average, not a bottom or a minimum wage, but an average wage earner. You don't make enough money. You got two average wage earners. You don't make enough money. You got one high wage earner or one average wage earner. You might get into a one-bedroom condo, a leaky condo. Maybe. 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 So first-time home buyers, you're going to run out of them. Every province in Canada will run out of them. See, and that's why in the States, they don't know how lucky they are. You're living in New York State. You don't want to leave your state? Okay, then go to Manhattan. Oh, it's too expensive? Go to the Bronx. I don't want to be there. Okay, then move to Syracuse. Move up to Syracuse. I don't like Syracuse. Okay, then move to Rochester, New York. I don't like Rochester. Then move to Buffalo. I don't like Buffalo. At least you got like 50 cities you could move to in New York State. In Canada, you don't what? Vancouver and the Lower Mainland? And you got Toronto and the GTA. Yep. So Blut News says, Red Pill Millennial, I have a friend who bought a house in London, Ontario, even though it's competitive markets, they had to bid up. Yeah, I'm gonna come in with London and Niagara Falls in a few seconds here because of the price of people leave the amount of people leaving the city of Toronto. It's absolutely phenomenal. There you go. You're not, and this problem is happening in New Zealand too. They're running out of first-time home buyers. Ever since New Zealand banned foreign investing, it's been very hard for them to find first-time home buyers. And Australia, remember the articles I was reading that Australia's housing market's going to suffer because of the lack of foreign investing. So what are you trying to tell me? People don't live in Australia that work there that want to buy a property? There's lots. Again, land is expensive. That's why they're making houseboats. I know MacGyver lived on a houseboat. So, Craig Cook is, woo, New Zealand, the land of the poor. All right, let's go back to article scan here. All right, so this is it. This tells you right here from Better Dwelling. Right here. That's exactly what's happening right now. Windsor housing market booms during pandemic. The region has seen nearly a 20% jump in house prices compared to last year. So where's Windsor, Ontario? It's like a 4-hour drive from Toronto. 3.5, 4-hour drive. So here it is. Savio Almeida, an investor in Windsor, came from Oakville in 2017, said Windsor's housing market is what brought him to the city. There it is. Buddy was getting fed up, and that's it. People were getting fed up. They started buying properties in Windsor and other parts. And, you know, in addition to lower housing prices, Soma said Windsor makes it an attractive city to buyers and investors because the close proximity to Detroit. Downtown Detroit. We're getting pushed to the borders. We're getting pushed to the borders, and we're going to be out. We're done. We're getting pushed to the borders. Detroit, low traffic, relatively warm weather, and views, the casino, and imminent construction of the mega hospital. He said it's hard to predict where the market will go in the coming months, but he is optimistic that Windsor will see continued growth. But yeah, Windsor, Ontario. That's where everybody's moving to, leaving Toronto. And these Tri-Cities, Quad Cities, it's a 4-hour drive from Toronto. When people said, oh, you moved 2 hours away, 2.5 hours from Vancouver, man, you're crazy, Mike. This is like 4 hours away, Windsor. You're pretty much in Detroit. Okay, Steve Stevens in the comments says, downtown Toronto should be called Condo Capital of the World. Just yesterday, exploring downtown, all the mom and pop shops I remember just 10 years ago are all condos now. Yeah. V-Man's got a point. Detroit's a dump, but it's close to the airport, though, which is good. So you could cross the border into Detroit and take a flight from Detroit like 1/4 of the price than you would from in Canada.
Some people in Portland held a sleep
some
out
people
at
in
City
Portland.
Hall
Hold
in
on.
support of.
That's going to flag my channel down. All right. We're almost there. New condo sales in Toronto hit lowest level since the Great Recession. We continue to learn more about the COVID has impacted Toronto's housing market. Even as the pandemic restriction lifted, sales begin to rebound. So, where is it? Only 1,385 new condominium apartments units were sold across the Greater Toronto Area in April, May, and June, according to the results of the Urbanization's Q2 2020 Condominium Market Survey. This marks a whopping 85% drop, where just 885 units were sold. So they're selling on average $867 per square foot. That's a lot of money, man. Holy crap. It's like 800 grand. Woo! All right. Remax, Toronto's condo market could soon become a buyer's market. That's it. I don't know where Canadian people are going to go. All right, let's move on from here. So this is it, guys. Portland tent out. Protesters say they'll stay until the city commits to meeting their demands. All right, before we hit some news in the States, let's get somebody on from Canada that could discuss this beautiful, beautiful $1 million home opportunity of a lifetime. It's an opportunity of a lifetime. This is great. This is $1 million bucks, but you know, it's only 700,000 American. You know, it's not a lot of money, you know, to get into this beautiful housing market we're in right now. All right, who do we got here that's awake? Who's out there that wants to talk housing with Mike Martins tonight? Who's there from Canada? Ooh, entrepreneurs! Yeah, I'm gonna buy this house for $1 million bucks. And I'm going to pay $3 million to pay it off when it's all said and done. Unless they go to negative interest rates. So once they go negative interest rates, they'll actually pay you to buy this house. All right, let's see who we got here. I want to see if I could get, like, I've been trying to get Gary on for a while. I hope he's okay. I really want to talk to him because I want to know what the heck is going on. Come on, pick up, Gary.
Hello.
Hey, Gary, I've been trying to reach you. A lot tougher to get than the president.
Yeah, man, sorry, I've been all over the place lately.
Do you have a minute to talk to us?
Yeah, I got a few minutes.
Okay, so what's going on in the housing market there? I just got this from Toronto News from yesterday's date. This Toronto house just hit the market for $1 million. It's as big as my garage. No, my shed in the back. I don't know if you saw that house. It's up on my screen right now. It's beautiful.
Yeah, I saw it.
It's like
I
200
saw it,
square feet. So what's going on there?
Hello?
Yeah, what's going on, Gary? Tell us what's going on there. They say prices are rebounding, prices are going up. What the heck is going on?
I don't know. I'm seeing a mix, to be honest. I mean, I'm seeing some houses sell for a little bit over. I mean, we're not getting these crazy overbids anymore, but it seems to be, it's kind of a mix right now. I mean, I'm seeing some houses sell for less, some houses sell for more. I guess it's how bad someone really wants the house. I personally won't buy in this time. I feel like it's too volatile to buy at a time like this. So.
Yeah, because I'm just looking at a bunch of these articles, and it's like, yeah, we're getting these mixed feelings here. We're getting these mixed signals here. I guess that's the best way to say it. Mixed signals, and but the houses that did sell, with the amount of jobs that are shut down, or the amount of jobs that are not returning, or people unemployed, who the heck is buying it, Gary?
I wish I knew. I really wish I knew. I don't know. I don't think it's a lot of Canadians buying. To be honest, I still think foreign buyers are doing it. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but that's who I think. That's who I think is buying right now. I mean, in my area too, I've seen. It's very European here, let's just say, and I've seen a lot of foreign buyers. And the last two houses that I've seen sold has been to foreign buyers. So.
It's very interesting. Yeah, because I mean, again, Gary, we wouldn't be having this discussion, or we wouldn't be in this situation, or we wouldn't even have this show if wages were tied to housing prices.
Agreed.
We wouldn't even be here right now. But the problem is, it's got so disproportional. I don't even know what to say anymore, Gary. Like, it's like you got a job, you got a decent job, you're in Toronto, born and raised, you're Canadian, your family work hard, the whole 9 yards, and then you're at a point where in your life where it's like, okay, I want to kind of leave the nest and start a family. You know what I mean, right?
Absolutely.
So what do you? Okay,
I don't know.
Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, like, I don't know. Like I said, I'm at the same point too. I don't really know what to say. I mean, I think we're only going to see things really happen when these deferrals hit. I mean, like when these deferrals end, I think that's when we're really going to see what's going to happen. That's my opinion. I think once these deferrals actually are due, or whatever you want to call it, like
back pay or layover
I think
pay.
that's when we're really going to see what's going to happen. I mean, I don't think we're going to see anything yet, just until these deferrals come to an end. That's the only thing I can think. Like, that's the only thing I think. That's why nothing's happened yet, because I think these deferrals have to actually expire, we'll say, to see any impact. I mean, just when this happened, I mean, we were going to see a correction from night and day type thing. This is going to take time. I mean, it's not going to happen overnight. So, at least that's the way I feel about it at this point. I mean, a correction is going to happen whether people want to admit it or not. I mean, the signs are all there. I mean, a lot of people want, and whatever we're seeing now, I mean, it's just pent up demand, in my opinion, too. A lot of people that were locked down. I mean, that's a lot of people are buying too right now. I mean, besides foreign buyers, and if people are buying right now, I mean, in my opinion, it's mommy and daddy that are helping them out, or they're co-signing, or whatever the situation, because these people ain't doing it. No Canadians doing it on their own right now. I can tell you that much.
I don't know. To be honest with you, I don't know. I don't think it's a bank of mommy and daddy also. I don't think so. And I'm going to tell you why I don't think it is anymore. It was before, but I don't think anymore. It's because a lot of the people are no longer borrowing any equity against their homes, because a lot of banks have been shutting down the equity taps on a lot of second mortgages or whatever you want to call them, reverse mortgages, whatever you want to call them, they've actually cut the taps off, Gary. I'm talking about like 30 to 40,000 second mortgages or were scaled back in the last couple of weeks, like 30 to 40,000 mortgages. So I don't know if it's mom and pops anymore.
I guess that I mean that could be true. I mean,
Because
like I
Better
said,
Dwelling did do an article on that they're no longer tapping in. They're not longer tapping in because they no longer have the equity available, in my opinion.
right. Well, I don't see. Like I said, I don't get what's happening. Like I don't get who's buying. I mean, that's something I've been talking about with the Chronicle and Steve. I mean, I don't get who's buying, but it's moving somewhat. But I'm seeing a mix of stuff happening. I'm seeing some stuff sell for a little bit more, or some stuff sell for under, which is it's kind of a mix right now. So it's really hard to say what's happening.
So when are the deferrals? When did the deferrals end? I don't even know. Like, did they end?
I'm assuming in the next month or so. Based on my understanding, it's in the next month or so, maybe August, September type thing. I mean, that's when we're going to really see things, in my opinion, happen. I mean, and if it doesn't happen, then I guess nothing's going to take this market down.
Yeah, because this market's been going on since 2010.
Yeah. So I mean, like I said, I mean, if this doesn't bring it down, like I said, I don't mean like bring it down, but I mean correct it, then nothing will. That's all I'm going to say. Like, I mean, this is a pretty significant thing to happen, and I'm going to, and you know what, if this doesn't correct things, then, like I said, I don't know what will.
Okay, let me ask you something. Like, but we discussed this the other day. We actually discussed this the other day. I don't know if it was with you or Steve, but we discussed how if housing needs to come adjacent to what average wages are, if it's tied to income, average, we're not talking about minimum and low wages. We're talking average to high wages. Housing needs to come down like 33% for it to tie back into wages. 33% is a huge pullback. You know what I'm saying?
I agree, but it's somebody's got to give here. Somebody's got to give. That's all I'm saying. I mean, this can't go on forever. I mean, what's going to happen with our kids, man? I mean, our kids. What are our kids going to buy if houses go like to $4 million or $5 million or more than that?
Again, our kids won't be buying it. Our kids just won't be buying it. Our kids are not in that demographic to buy. So, but the problem is, now let's go back to the first question I asked at the beginning of the show, where Canadians are being pushed towards the American borders. Like, I don't know if you saw the Windsor article I was reading, where Windsor housing market booms, and it jumped 20% since the last year. I have the article here right in front of me, Lego article scan here. And there's the article right there. So Canadians are being pushed to the American border. Like, where are Canadians going to go when they can't afford to live in Canada anymore? What's going to happen?
I don't know. That's the $1 million question. I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, we've catered to, foreign ownership so much. It's not even that the Canadian proper, I've been, swept under the rug. Like, I mean, the governments are catering more to foreign money than anything. So I don't know. I don't know what to say anymore. And I'm not saying, foreign people can't come here as long as they're raised a family or whatever the case may be, or want to live a better life. But don't come here, buy up all our houses, and but leave these houses empty type thing. I mean, that's not right either, man.
Well, I spoke to a real estate agent. Came to visit me. A really nice guy. Came to visit me at the store, and he bought a few things at the shop, and he left me a big tip. I don't know why he left me that much money, but he said, thank you, I learned a lot from you and stuff. So, anyways, he told me that basically a lot of foreign investors own property in Canada, and they've never been to Canada. And he's talking about 70% of the empty homes, 70% of the foreign investing have never been to Canada.
Yeah.
They've never stepped foot in Canada, but they don't own one or two properties. A lot of people own 13, 20, 45 properties, and they're all empty. And
Yeah, I believe it. I mean, that's what's happening, right? I mean, they're buying up all these homes and just leaving them empty or whatever. I mean, like I said, I think they're just finding a place to park their money, right?
That's it.
And now with this whole thing with China, I think asking, charging taxes on these foreign buyers or people abroad will say, I mean, I don't know what's going to happen there, if that's even going to happen. I don't know. I read that, but Whether that happens or not, I guess we'll see. But apparently they're going after people outside of China now to, pay taxes on their spending or whatever. If I'm saying it right, I don't know, but it's
Yeah,
along
back
those lines.
taxes on. So what the Chinese government wants to do is to say, okay, what they're not going to gauge on how much money left the country. They're going to gauge on what assets they own outside of the country and tax them on that.
Yeah.
So if they have a let's say a house that's worth $2 million, right? Then the Chinese government is going to tax them on that asset and say you left China with $2 million, even though they only left, let's say, with $1 million. And the property went up. They're going to charge them on the full amount of what their asset value is overseas.
Right.
So that's
You hearing what's going on with rent right now? I mean, in Toronto here, I mean, it's a disaster. People are trying to protest, evictions because they're even protesting at the mayor's place because people don't want to get evicted. But I think a lot of them now are trying to use this as an excuse, so not to pay. In my opinion, I mean, it sucks that we're in the situation that we're in, but you know what? These people have mortgages to pay or whatever the case may be. I mean, they need their money, right?
Mhm.
So I don't know what's going to happen there, but rent is a disaster right now.
Yeah, oh yeah, rentals are in a complete. And you know what? The media is doing a really good job keeping that under wraps, eh?
You're not really mentioning much about it.
No, they're not.
Yeah.
So next week's trends in the housing market, we're going to be talking about evictions and rentals and evictions because I'm having a tough time finding anything that's concrete to read on the show. I can't find anything.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, it's interesting times. Like I said, I mean, you know what? Like I said, something's got to give, and like I said, I think when the deferral cliff happens, when I think that's when we're really going to see what's going to happen. I mean, we can't really say nothing now because they've pretty much fed money to everybody at this point, so they've managed to keep things somewhat afloat. But I mean, when the deferrals actually hit, I mean, we're gonna really see what's going to happen. I mean, like I said, I mean, it's going to correct one way or another.
Let me read this headline to this article. I've been covering the Seattle housing crisis for years now. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Since Vancouver put on the foreign buyers tax. Listen to an article from one day ago. Listen to this. Pandemic? What pandemic? Seattle area home prices keep going up. Deep into the pandemic, prices for Seattle area homes are still rising faster than any other major city in the country. Then we go to the next article here. This is from a video I made in November 12, 2017. Foreign buyers overlooking Vancouver, heading to Seattle in a frantic pace. So there it is right there. So it's been happening for years, and they keep blaming the tech companies for creating jobs for people, and blaming the tech companies for it, and making the tech companies pay for affordable housing when it's not the tech companies' faults.
Yeah.
So if you see Toronto, look at Seattle. It's almost like nothing's happened there. It's almost
I don't know what to say about that. That's pretty interesting. I don't know.
So
I don't really, to be honest, I don't really focus too much on the States. I mean, at the end of the day, everyone's so worried about Trump and all this stuff, and I get it. I guess
I focus on the
yeah,
whole
bro,
Commonwealth.
I think we just. I think as far as Trump goes, I think people need to lay off this guy. I mean, just leave the guy alone. People in Canada anyway, because you know what, let the guy doing what he's doing. I mean, it's not. At the end of the day, you know what, he's not my president or whatever the case may be. So whatever's happening down there, as far as him running the country, let him do it. And if they keep pushing the way they are to this guy's going to get reelected.
Yeah.
So.
I know, exactly. And you know what the funny part is everybody in Canada has some sort of opinion on Trump and how they dislike him or whatever. It's like, wow, do you like everyone, it's not like,
Nope.
Like people don't
Go
know.
ahead.
They don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Well, the way I see it, I mean, I think people are using Trump as a scapegoat, like to focus on something else, because we're not in the greatest shape either, whether people want to admit that or not. I mean, our economy's been slowing down even before the virus. So, you know what, the virus was just the trigger, but it wasn't the cause. So, we had a loss of jobs before the virus hit. I mean, 70,000 jobs. I mean, that's pretty big.
Every quarter we were losing huge numbers on the unemployment, and the payroll was looking very, very grim. And now with
even the bank admitted too that things were slowing down before the virus. I mean, the economy was already slowing down. I think this was going to happen more towards the end of the year, but the virus accelerated the process.
Did the virus accelerate, or did the process or the media accelerate? I saw media hype go from like 1 to 10 overnight. And that's why I stopped covering it on my channel, because it was a waste of time. Once the media got their meat hooks on that, it's over. I stopped doing it on my channel. What a waste of discussion time on Mike in the Night talking about that pandemic. What a waste.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Like I said, I mean, yeah, the media did go off full out on it.
Oh, full blast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, our numbers are still low for now. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen, whether we get a second wave or not. I don't know, but I don't think Canada can afford a second.
I thought we were in the second wave already.
Well, I don't know. Maybe we are. Who knows? But
they're going to keep it down until the election's over, and then we're going to see what wave we're in. If Trump gets reelected, we're going to have a third, a fourth, a fifth wave. But China has no cases with 1.7 billion people.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what that means, right?
Oh, I know what it means.
It's a grande mundo de merda.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
See, I like talking to Gary in Portuguese. See, Gary's Portuguese like me, so we I could have some signal discussion here with him, so no one else knows what we're talking about. Okay, Gary, go do your thing. We'll talk. We'll keep in touch, and we'll have you on another 2 weeks and give us an update on anything that's happened that you know.
All right, Mike. Sounds good.
God bless you, buddy.
You too, buddy.
Bye.
Bye.
That is my man, Gary Medeiros from Toronto. So we're seeing people moving out to Windsor. Housing market booms. 20% jump in house prices compared to last year. Everybody's leaving. Like, you see this house behind this guy? Hold on. Article scan. You see this guy right here with this nice white shirt, almost like the one I'm wearing? You see the house behind him? That house in Toronto? $2.5 million. And you could buy that same house probably in Windsor for like $200,000-300,000 grand. I don't know what the heck is happening, guys. I really don't. Like, Canadians are being pushed out of their cities, and it's getting worse. What did you think? What did they think was going to happen? What did they think was going to happen when they let in so many billions and billions and billions? Mike, what are you talking about, billions of dollars? Here you go. Well, we got laws in Canada. Yeah, we got laws, but they're very situational. And I brought this up almost every show. Canada would be in a recession without money laundering. That's it right there. Criminals. Criminals take the stage, front and center. Full stop. So they've only reported for a few years, and then the Liberal government shut that investigation down quick in a heartbeat. From 2011 to 2015, $200 billion. And this excludes reinvestment and layering and integration. Layering and integration is more the mafia layers money into businesses. Foreign investors dump money into real estate. And there it is by province. There it is right there. Wow. Wow. Canada would be in a recession without money laundering. You think that's bad? World economy would collapse if the City of London stopped laundering money, says HSBC whistleblower. So, someone needs to, like, because I'm very, very severely undereducated. Severely undereducated. Okay, I have like a grade 6 reading level. So someone's going to have to step forward and educate me on how criminals have been allowed to take over our cities with an economic takeover and buy housing and real estate from our locals who were born, raised, and educated, that were promised the best job in the world if they got the best education on the planet, giving them the best education with the best job waiting for them, and it was all a lie. It was all a lie. Anthony Ruvalacaba is saying, it's like they're doubling the properties up right now. Afzal Khan is asking, asked me earlier, why are properties not going down anywhere? Well, the problem is for the longest time in the West, I'm talking about like since pretty much World War I, pretty much the turn of the century, when they started to eradicate child labor. They started creating rights and more stuff and kind of cleaning up things a little bit. And you started to see wages tie in. Wages were heavily tied to what kind of house you could afford to buy. And that was the case for many years. This wasn't the case like for the last 2-3 years. This has been the case, like this is usually the rule of thumb, right? Wages need to be in line, income needs to be in line with housing, average income. Minimum, low wages, you know, they could rent an apartment, a 2-bedroom, but minimum, low wages, can't even rent a room. Can't even rent a room. They have to share one room with 40 people. David Xavier is saying, I'm in my 20s. My parents are pressuring me to get married. Oh, David, come on the show on Saturday, man. Come on, Mike in the Night. We need to get you set up here on how to avoid getting married here. Just for now, because you're 20. Just, you know, you don't want to get married right now. One year from now, the NASDAQ will be up 240%. Real estate can't touch that. Big Rob New Zealand saying, Mike, houses are going down in price when you compare to PMs, only going up when you look at the fiat. So SD921 is saying, Merit Centennials needing you. Arena current one is too small. Afzul Khan is saying, government is a big mafia. Of course, it's all mafia, man. It's all mafia. And the funny part is when they want to persecute or they want to hurt people that are talking about this or creating discussion about this because they got caught. That's even worse. So Paul S. is saying, I agree, Robbins. I'm a preacher for precious metals, having the physical stuff. Joe R. says, we need universal basic income for middle class. What else? Cost of living is outrageous, says Jem Rose. So, guys, we need to, like, honestly, really take a look at the situation because no one is addressing this. I mean, people are complaining about they're not making enough. People are complaining that their rent's too high. But no one's addressing the major issues that are causing this. And that's what's scaring the crap out of me. Is that nobody... I think people do care, but I think people are too worried. I think people are too worried to do anything about it because they are afraid to lose their job or they're afraid to lose what they've worked for so far. You know what I'm saying? All right, let's continue with some more stories. Oh, all kinds of stuff happening all over the place, guys. You have no idea, man. You guys have no idea. Okay, Sacramento's housing market right now is in a bit of trouble right now also, guys. Sacramento's housing market is putting a squeeze. The pandemic is putting a squeeze on Sacramento housing market. The price is going up because the number of houses on the market are down. So that's what's happening right there. And then we got, what the hell is this? Ooh, Hell's Angels. Okay, so I don't even know what that is. All right, let's go here. Why California's housing market isn't tanking. Again, California, is another one of those. It's the worst economy since the Great Depression. Nearly 1 in every 6 Californians workers is out of a job. And those lucky enough to remain employed confront reduced hours, slimmed wages, and mounting uncertainty over the next few months will bring the state budget is in shambles. The city and counties are already laying off workers. So again, a lot of government jobs being shed right now. Public sector is going to take a big hit because the private sector is no longer funding it. And this is from the New York Times. I've already, I guess, watched or too many articles. So it says here, how the hell is the real estate market recovering? Record low interest rates, a shortage of listings have produced a fast-paced seller's market, but many areas are still lagging. So this is from the New York Times from today's date. And then let's move on here. No, Manhattan home prices are not plummeting. The pandemic has caused unprecedented levels of job loss and could push the global economy into a prolonged recession. And if you need more evidence that we have stumbled into the darkest late capitalism timeline, look no further. People are hoping the pandemic might help them finally buy a house. For anyone shopping in Manhattan, the opportunity for a discount seemingly presented itself last week. The median price for Manhattan home sales fell to a quarter of 2020, was down 17.7%. But for some reason, it's not plummeting. It's all luxury closings, all luxury condos, all luxury. The demand for housing in the city has shown signs of having dipped. Pending home sales, while still down significantly, are up 74.4% a month overall, according to Zillow. As the market returns to normal, there are likely to be more reports with eye-popping numbers that ultimately do not signal what is inferred by them, particularly with home sales. So there it is. My view is that once this excess demand is satiated over the next couple of months, that's when we'll actually see actual markets. We don't see this time delay, and we're seeing it right now. So they don't see the time delay that we're seeing right now. So there's a time delay in some of the markets. So markets aren't going down. Is this the big melt-up that we talked about a year ago, that we're going into a melt-up territory? Who knows? Who knows anymore? Who knows what the governments are doing? Who knows what they haven't planned? The cost of building a 3-bedroom Dublin home jumps by 41,000 euros in 4 years. So the cost of producing a home is gone up 41,000 euros in the last couple. So this was sent to me from someone in Dublin, Ireland. And the government is serious about tackling the housing crisis, about building 30,000 to 35,000 homes, which are required. It needs to tackle the significant increases. Okay, so guys, I'm not a fan about building affordable housing. I'm a fan about creating better paying jobs. So if the government could actually not build 30 to 35,000 homes and actually create 30 to 35,000 good paying jobs, not government jobs though, I'm talking about private sector jobs, creating more incentive for investors to move to Ireland, creating better incentives for reasons to open a business in Ireland. You never know, eh? You never know. But then creating 30 to 35,000 better paying jobs will help out more, because this allows people to, because people want to be productive. People always want to be productive no matter what. Oh. Okay. So the markets are open right now in Australia. So I've been watching the markets very closely here. And I shorted a couple of junior miners, gold companies here. I shorted them. They're all going down. New Gold is down. And I also shorted Eldorado. They're both going down. And for some reason, when the price of gold goes up, I see junior miners go down every time. Every single time. For some weird... Not every time, but quite a few times I've seen it happen. Which is really weird. So we got Lord Humongous in the house. Okay. So there it is there. So I'm going to show you guys... Okay, so this is Australia here. Gold Coast house prices lift as Sydney, Melbourne residents look north, figures show. Again, people are leaving the bigger cities for smaller cities and smaller towns. It's been happening for years. So, okay, now let's go over this. This Toronto house just hit the market for $1 million. So Lord Humongous says, you should be short in the airlines. Laugh out loud. No, Lord Humongous, I bought more airline stock. And my airline is, all my airline except American Airlines is green. And all my oil is green right now. Except one oil stock I have that's underperforming like by 2-3%. But everything else I bought when it was at the bottom. Yeah, Transat is canceling most winter flights. Yeah, we'll see what happens with that. I didn't buy too much Air Transat, but I bought enough. But that's the only airline that's in the red right now for me. Real Kevin Thompson saying buy when stocks are at the bottom. Joe R saying I'm buying airlines, cruise lines. Yeah. Oh yeah, tons of airline stock. I've been buying airlines from a month and a half, 2 months ago when it was like almost at rock bottom prices. A couple other stocks I'm keeping my eye out in the next couple of days. So, okay, so before we go there, let's do a quick channel plug here, guys. Thanks for joining, guys. Wow, I got 150 people viewing. Holy crap. Okay, here it is, guys. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. If you want to join the channel, there's a couple of people here that are members of the channel. I really appreciate that. Guys, set your reminders for Mike in the Night for this Saturday. It's going to be an interesting one. And Mike in the Nights last week was really good. We had 2 new callers, and we had a ton of people on the show giving us insights. Check this out, guys, from last week. It was really good. It was me. Our first caller was amazing.
In 2017, 2018, there was a really bad flu in the UK. 50,000 people died. 50,000 people died that year. And yet, so far, we're under 46,000 so far with COVID, and they've closed the country down. They've done all kinds of crazy things.
Oh, you got to watch last week's Mike in the Night. If you haven't seen, I'm going to go to it here, and I'm going to give you a link to watch it later. If you haven't seen last week's Mike in the Night, I really recommend you watch last week's Mike in the Night because it's actually really good. That's last week's show there. What else? What else we got here? Yeah, there's a channel plug right there. Guys, links up top here. Join the channel right here. Don't forget to check out Teespring. We got the Merit Stalker face mask if you guys want to pick up the face mask. We got the Merit Stalker. If you've seen the Merit Harassment series on my channel, it's really good if you haven't seen it. Really good show. There's the Merit Stalker right there if you want to get a Merit Stalker mug. I already sold 4 of them. This is one of the best-selling mugs I have right now. I sold 4 in a week, and when I first introduced them, I sold 3 of them on the first day of release. And if you want to follow me on Facebook, go ahead. And Instagram, I'm going to give you guys my Instagram if you guys want to go ahead and send me a message. Lord Humongous is saying to short Bill Gates. Yeah! I wish. So, guys, I'm going to keep you guys on the hook here. I shorted Eldorado yesterday. Hold on. Today's Wednesday. I shorted Eldorado on Tuesday. Was it? Hold on. Tuesday morning, I shorted Eldorado. It's down 17 cents. And I shorted New Gold. And it's down 3 cents. So, we'll see what happens. See if it pays off for me. If I made the right choice. So, we'll find out in the next 9 days. We'll find out in 9 days what happens. Mike, you need a down-under mic for Kiwis and Aussies. I need a down-under. Mike down-under. Wow, the comments are flying right now. Woo! Remember, guys, do not listen to me. I usually do opposite of what everything happens in the market. When everyone was running from airline stock, I was buying it. When everyone was running from oil, I was buying it. So guys, do not listen to me when it comes to, because this is very high risk investing that I'm doing. And if you don't take the risk, you don't get the reward, right? All right. David Xavier is asking, what happened to Can't Read Market Talk, Mike Martins? It's really hard, guys. Anthony Ruvalacaba saying, miners are showing support levels right now, Mike. Well, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Nobody panic. No one freak out. It's going to be okay. But anyways, what was the question there? There was something here. Oh, Matthew saying, I just sent you a message on Instagram, Mike. You haven't seen it yet. Yeah, I'm going to have to open my Instagram when I'm off of, when the show's off. It's really tough for me to get to everybody's messages, but I do take my time and I do read them, or I do look at them, guys, when I do get time. You know, with 3 kids, yeah, Can't Read Market Talk. It's been really tough, man. I got 3 kids, and it's tough, you know. I try my best, you know what I'm saying? Real Kevin Thompson owns a condo in Oakville, Ontario, if you guys are wondering. Steve the plumber just jumped in. I wonder what he has to say about that house in Toronto for $1 million bucks. Sorry, $1 million bucks for, what is it, 100 square feet home? 200 square feet? For $1 million bucks? Woo! Okay. This is a nice house, man. I'm not saying it's a bad house. It's a nice house, but I mean, $1 million? Really? Like, you have to make at least $130,000 a year to pay this thing off. Like, to actually afford to live in here. That's a lot of cash. All right, so let's do a little bit. I just feel like doing some shopping today, guys. I'm really sorry. So I looked at what you would pay, and I think it was 3 years or 4 years of interest on that house, just interest only, could buy you this house here free and clear, 64 grand. That's just interest you're paying on that $1 million mortgage. You could have a place on the beach. I'm trying to find really inexpensive properties that you could put on your credit card. So I found this. This is in Jensen Beach, Florida. I've been there. It's really nice there. I love these studio apartments they have there on these gated communities. These are like gated communities. And right here, and then you have a lake, and you really shouldn't fish in that lake, but there's like carp in there. I'm not a fan of carp, but like something like this on Harbor Ridge. This is in Palm City. A nice place like this. Nice view of the water. Parking, ample parking, lots of space for all your big bulky furniture. What are you looking at? $99,800 for 2-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,400 square feet. So when people are saying now let's go realistic here. Let's get real here, okay? When people are saying, "Oh, Mike, what are you talking about? Look, if I could get that house in Toronto, this house for $1 million bucks, I'll be set, man. I'll be okay, and then I can start." Okay, here's the problem. It's the amount of money you need to make to service this debt. Okay? And let's look at the amount of money you need to service this debt. Okay? So look at this, $99,888. That's $130,000 Canadian. Okay? How much money do you need to make? Okay, let's see how much money you need to make in American dollars. Okay. Let's do some math here. So you're looking at you're probably looking at a $620 payment per month. Yeah. So you're going to have to times 1 point, because the food's cheap, 1.5. So you need to make about $930, but this is to buy food, right? So to make your mortgage payment, okay, let's do 1.8. So 620 times 1.8. Let's go times 1.8. You're looking at $1,116 per month to afford to live in this place. So you need to make $1,116 per month. And you could live here and you could eat. And like you could actually eat, and you could probably afford a small or a good used car. You could save up on the side for a decent used car. And let's say you make $2,000 a month take home in Florida. Okay, that's like 24,000 a year. You could still make your mortgage payment, and you could still own a vehicle. So that's what I'm trying to tell you guys. This is what I'm trying to say, or trying to make sense to you guys. Okay. So then you buy this house in Toronto for $1 million. Okay, how much do you have to make to service this debt? Okay, so $1 million mortgage, 25-year amortization, 5-year term. So let's say $36.50 a month. Okay. 1.65 gives you an average. You gotta make $6,000. That's if you don't eat. That's the thing. But a lot of people living in Toronto would say, okay, your mortgage would be $36.50 on this house. You need to make about $6,022 because it's almost $4,000 for the mortgage, almost, and then $1,500 for food, and then electricity. And this is not taking into account that you have an auto payment, credit cards, and student loans. This is just, so you need to make $6,022.50 per month take home to actually afford this one this house in Toronto for $1 million. But then here, in Florida, you're looking in US, you need about $1,100 US. That's US dollars per month to pay this mortgage and to actually like eat properly, like going out to restaurants, going to movies, like doing stuff and moving in all your bulky furniture. Okay? So I need you guys to understand why I keep bringing up other parts of the States. One, I lived here and I know what this is. So look at this beautiful starter home for a starter family. This is in Boynton Beach, Florida. It's over on the intercoastal. It's on one of the, well, it's not really an intercoastal. It looks like a lake. Beautiful starter home for a family, okay? $84,000. So let's say 100,000 Canadian, $84,000. Now let's service this debt, okay? Let's say you put $0 down on this property, right? So 84 large, okay, American. I'll tell you how much you need to make American, okay? So, sorry. 84 large, you're looking at about $560 a month for your mortgage payment with $0 down. Okay, let's do $600 down. Let's do $600 a month to be fair, okay? And then multiplied by 1.6. So you're looking at about $960. That's American to pay for your mortgage, and that's to buy yourself some food to eat, like a little snack here and there, maybe some pizza, maybe some pizza pops, but you need $960 American, okay? Multiply that by 12. So if you could get a minimum wage job making $11,520 per year, you could buy this home with your family, and you could actually live an okay life. And this is what I'm trying to like tell you guys for so many years. Okay? But there's no jobs there. There's 20 million people in Florida. You tell me there's no jobs? All you have to do is be a street sweeper and make $11,000. You could make $11,520 per year. Okay? Collecting bottles and turning them in. You think I'm joking? And that's including your food. And I'm trying to so okay, let's go back to this house. So what was it? $3,600 a month for the mortgage for this house, okay? You need to make about $6,000 net. Okay, 6,000 net. That's including your mortgage and buying food. So unless you cut back on eating like a lot, I don't know how bad that it would be for your health, but it's just not making any sense, guys. I don't know what like where it's going to go from here. You know? Oh, but that's in America. Everyone looks at every friggin' excuse in the book. Oh, but Trump's president. Oh, but that's in America. Look, a lot of people in America have so much freedom, they don't even know it. And at the beginning of the show, I even told you guys, people in America have more freedom. People in Canada, look at this. Look at this. BC continues multi-year decline of first-time homebuyers. Nobody in the province, never mind the major city of Vancouver or Victoria or Burnaby or Surrey or even Chilliwack or never mind the province. The province cannot get first-time home buyers in the whole province. You can't. You can't make ends meet. And then the state of New York, you got Albany, you got Rochester, you got Buffalo, you got Manhattan, you got all the boroughs, you got the Bronx, Staten Island. You got all kinds of places you could live in New York, in the state of New York alone. More than all of what Canada has as a whole country. I don't know what to tell you guys anymore. It's getting to a point where, like, what's going to have to happen? Well, right here, this is what's going to have to happen. Canadians are getting pushed to the American border. Windsor housing market booms. Windsor is on the border of Detroit, Michigan State. Windsor housing market booms during pandemic. 20% jump in house prices compared to last year. Canadians are scrambling to find whatever they can, when they can, and get themselves into something because they're afraid that it's going to get to a point where they won't be able to leave the country. It's going to get that hard. So here it is. So there it is. People moving out to the fringes of the Canadian borders right now, and I don't know what to tell you guys. Oh, this beautiful home. You're looking at about less than $900 a year in property tax. I don't even know what I could say anymore. I lived here. The reason why do you keep bringing up Florida housing for and this? I've been through many hurricanes in Florida. It's wind and rain. I've been through a lot. Okay, all right. You know, I don't know. Like, this is Lake Worth, Florida. Again, $89,000. Price cut, $20,000. Look at this detached home. Look. Price cut, $20,000. Okay, so let me say something here, guys. 89 large, okay? 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, 2,200 square feet, okay? Again, you need to make about $1,100 a month to afford this place. Like maybe $12,000, $13,000 a year. And that's including food. Like, I'm not, okay, maybe $15,000 a year including, I'm sorry. I'm just, this has been on, look, there's 461 days on the market. You could probably show up to this place and say, look, man, I got 70 large. You take it or leave it. I got 70 large. A stupid offer, 70 large. I got 70 large. They'll probably take 70 large. Okay, real Kevin Thompson is saying Steve is delusional. David Xavier is asking Steve, how bad is the housing in the GTA? So everyone's saying gators everywhere. Who cares? So we got, what else we got here? Bidding wars are crazy. Open houses coming back. Real Kevin Thompson saying house in Little Italy can generate $6,000 a month. When bubble bursts, banks make bank. What's the point of comparing Florida to Toronto? The reason why I do that is because I lived in both cities, and I lived in Florida for like 5 years. I know. And I know it's not as bad as people think, oh, you can't get a job there. What are you going to do for money? Well, I would rather do $89,000 for this house and pay my $650 mortgage. I would rather do that than pay $1 million for this and have to pay $4,000 a month for it in a mortgage. I would lose my mind to try and make $4,000 a month just to cover my mortgage. That's what I'm trying to tell you guys. And that's why I make this comparison. I've been there. I know what it's about. Housing is super cheap in this state. So is South Carolina. So is North Carolina. So is Georgia. Parts of Texas is still affordable. But all these Californians are going to Texas and ruining it. Look, West Palm Beach, Florida. Like, I don't know how... This has a price cut of $10,000. Again, 83 days on the market. You show up and say, look, I got 70 large. You know? In Canada, you show up to this for $1 million and say, I got 70 grand. Why? See, wages are tied. Wages. The average... Like, say the average guy makes $30,000 a year. Average wage earner makes $30,000 a year in the state of Florida. He could still afford to buy this and raise a family. This is what I'm trying to get to you guys. I don't really talk too much about South Carolina or Georgia. I've been to Georgia many times, but I don't talk about those states too much. I don't know those states that well. I really don't. And I don't want to lie and talk about states I don't know much about. I know Florida really well. I did 33,000 miles on my Hayabusa motorcycle on side streets in Florida, going all over the little streets and all over the little boulevards, all over the main streets, all over the highways, all over the, everywhere. 33,000 miles just in these little streets here. No highway driving. And this is what I'm not understanding. Like, this is really bad for Canadians. Canadians are in a position right now. How is entry-level family home here? Okay? $1 million. I don't understand why it's so hard to tell you guys that why would you pay $4,000 a month for this and pay it off in 30 years, okay, when you could just pay $1,100 and that includes food and work at 7-Eleven. Like, I'd rather work at 7-Eleven and own this house. Okay, let me get to where I'm trying to say. This is how desperate I am here. This is how desperate I'm trying to get this message across. I'd rather work at 7-Eleven full-time, 7-Eleven manager, and have this and live here and live in this house and know I don't have to worry. Estimated payment on this mortgage, $456 a month, and that's including property tax. So someone's gonna have to fill me in here on what the deal is. So, real Kevin Thompson said that's not entry level. Well, if this isn't an entry level home, then what is? Like this, it's what, 200, 300 square feet for this house? Let me just see if I got the square footage here. It's a nice little house. I think this is pretty cool. I wouldn't mind owning something like this, like when I retire, maybe like somewhere off the coast of Bermuda or something, like somewhere on the coast of Bermuda or something little like this, just to get, shelter myself from the bad storm, just for me and the wife. That's okay. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with that, but $1 million? So Paul S is saying, let me settle this. Look at New Brunswick homes are cheap and is still located in Canada in comparison to Florida. Okay, but I've never been to New Brunswick. Okay, so I really don't want to tell people. See, I talk about Vancouver housing. I live in Vancouver. I lived in Toronto. I lived in Brampton. I lived in Miami. I lived in Fort Lauderdale. I lived in Key West. I lived in Mexico for 2 years. Right? I spent 6 months in Cuba. I've been all over the place traveling. I really can't tell you anything about New Brunswick housing. I've never been to New Brunswick. I know where it is. I know geographically where it's located. I kind of get an idea of where it's, where the affordability level is there. But I just... So Mike Banks is just saying this is more geared specifically at people who want to immigrate and buy in the States. But here's the deal with this. A lot of people I have spoken to, nurses, a lot of nurses, a lot of them moved to Florida. I've spoken to them personally, and a lot of them have visited me in my store. I've spoken to a ton of people that moved either to South Dakota, they just said, look, I can't. There's millions of Canadians living in the United States. Since 1972 to now, there's over 35 million Canadians living in the States. Since 1972, I think it's 72 to 2020, there's over 35 million Canadians living in the U.S. So, I don't know how I could, I'm just trying to make, when I bring this up, oh, but what job, dude, you need to make $1,000 a month? Why would you want to work and make $4,000 a month to squander it away to pay this entry-level home off for $1 million? I don't know, man. I don't know what to tell you guys anymore. Whoa. Owen says, anyone hear about the 200 people house party in Brampton? Yeah, I heard about that. They got fined $100K this week. So we got Alan Howick. I paid $246,000 for a bungalow 30 minutes out of Ottawa. Mortgage is $800 a month. Property tax is $230 a month. So Alan, why don't you call into the show and tell us the situation or what's going on? Where did you move from? Maybe give us 'cause I don't know Ottawa, right? I can't tell you anything about Ottawa because I don't know. I know San Francisco better than I know Ottawa because I've driven to California and Oregon and many times up and down the coast here, right? Healthcare is an issue. No, most jobs pay for your healthcare if you have a good job. If you're going down for a good job. But think of it like this. Okay, think of it like this. $4,300 a month for this mortgage. $456 a month for this mortgage. Okay, then you throw out $200 a month for $300 a month for top quality Blue Cross insurance. I would actually trade that. I would trade that in. I would take that to the bank, then have to pay $4,500 a month for this, and have to enslave myself for the rest of my life. But then how are you going to sell this for what you... So what did they expect? You buy this for $1 million and what, sell it for $2 million 2 years down the road? Is that what they're expecting here? Any place that is booming is not worth living because it's overpopulated. No. These cities are booming, but they're underpopulation. All these streets are all empty. No one could afford to live in them. It's booming because, again, I can't get over this article. BC continues multi-year decline of first-time homebuyers. World economy would collapse if the city of London stopped laundering money. It's all right there, guys. Okay, now, let's see if we can get somebody on the phone. Okay, guys, could anybody please let me know if you want to come on the show, guys? We got 30 minutes left in the show. I want to see if I could... Oh, okay, so 26 Gunter says this is what $2.9 million buys you in Wisconsin. 7 bedroom, 6 bath, on a private lake, 7,200 square feet. Oh, wow, look at that, guys. Holy smokes. That's a lot of cash, though. I mean, 2.95 million. But the problem is this house in this area would be like 40 million bucks. If that house is $1 million, someone's gonna. Someone's gonna have to call into the show here. Oh, Steve said he will call into the show. I don't know if Steve's been watching, how long he's been watching for, but I hope he's been watching for a little while so he could kind of fill me in on what the heck is going on here, because I just can't make sense of what's going on anymore. It's just.
Hello?
Hey, Steve, what's up, buddy?
It's Kevin Thompson.
I know it's Kevin Thompson. Steve, what the heck is going on? This Toronto house hit the market for $1 million. What the heck is going on, Steve?
Oh, jeez. It's kind of crazy. I don't even want to look at that. That's organized real estate fishing to see if someone's going to bite. Can you actually think for 2 seconds if you bought that piece of real estate, how much of a dumb idiot you'd be? Like they'd literally put you on TV and people would go by the house and I would personally drive by that house, knock on the door, and tell the guy he's an idiot. You know what I mean? Or whoever bought that house.
Steve,
that house isn't worth $1 million. She'd never be able to get a mortgage on it for $1 million or anywhere close to $1 million because it would never appraise out.
Well, let me ask you something, Steve. Like, am I out of my mind? Like, I'm doing comparisons, okay? People are saying, Mike, why do you keep comparing Florida? It's because I lived in Florida and I know what's there. I've been there. The infrastructure, the streets, the highways, the buildings, the everything. I've been there. I know. I've lived there. I understand it. I've breathed the air there. I know what it's about. So that's why people are asking, why do you keep comparing $90,000 3-bedroom homes, like this $89,000 home, this gorgeous home. It's down 20,000. It's been on the market for 461 days. But I'm trying to explain to people, Steve, that you need to make $1,100 US a month to pay the mortgage on this, and food and internet and electricity, and everything's covered pretty much, and your property tax. You only need to make $1,100 a month. And then what I'm trying to do is compare it to Toronto, where this house, or $1 million, let's just say any $1 million house, you need to net at least $5,200 a month to just pay off an average home mortgage.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, you've done the math, and clearly it doesn't make sense. So what we're seeing right now is a lot of crazy things happen. I just don't get it. People are leaving the GTA right, left, and center, and they're going for higher ground.
Guys watching this, the GTA is the greater Toronto area. Outside of Toronto, people in the States are like GTA. They always think it's Grand Theft Auto. Okay, go ahead, Steve. People are leaving Toronto and area, yes?
Yeah, they're leaving for higher ground, and ultimately, that's all that they want. They want a little bit of a backyard. They want more square footage. They want a proper home office. No one really truly this is actually proven. Something that I said before. Nobody wants to live on top of each other in a box in the sky in a congested environment. Okay? Mm-hmm. Nobody really wants that. And they don't want it in Toronto, and they don't want it in New York. Okay? I spoke to somebody in New York today, and, Manhattan's a ghost town. It's not good. And if you don't believe me, I was talking to Lord Humongous the other night, and he said, yeah, check out LiveCam for Times Square. But anyhow, I digress. Things aren't good because house prices, in essence, are going up based on multiple offers.
Right.
And what ends up happening is, for example, tonight, I did an exercise with my agent. I got into a multiple offer situation. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to see where the market was at. So I knew they underpriced the property, and we liked it. Don't get me wrong. We put an offer in, but there was a home inspection clause. Mm-hmm. All cash, no financing, all cash, no issues. just financing, or just home inspection rather.
Right.
And sure enough, and we matched their closing date. They had bought another house. We said, yeah, no problem. We'll take your closing date. Yeah, that lines up perfect. So they liked our offer. Do you know that agent didn't get, he got 9 offers or eight offers on the property. They didn't get what they wanted. They sent all the offers back, okay, that they may want to work with. So 5 or 6 offers that they wanted to work with. We were one of them. They wanted us to come up in price and drop our home inspection clause.
What?
And I threw a bid in about $35,000 over the listing price, because that's what the comp supported in the area. No doubt that house will probably end up going for at least $50,000, if not $70,000 over the asking price. But the asking price is, in actual fact, was lower to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
So the comp support, in and around, I'm going to say $950, $960, and somebody in Toronto's probably going to go ahead and blow their brains out, for an extra 15 or 20 grand just so they get the property. So that's what's happening here. Organized real estate right now, they're doing everything they possibly can to bid up the market, and every single listing is holding off on showing. Yep, for an entire week or 3 or 4 days, and then basically everybody can come in and bid.
Steve, I'm speechless, buddy. Hey, I got something for you. $100,000, 1 bed, 1 bath, 390 square feet, downtown Hollywood, Florida, not California, because that's a dump. Hollywood, Florida. I've been there by Hollandale. I know this area really well. $100,000. It's been 19 days on Zillow, and if you look at it, it looks like, when you look at those brochures for holidays, and you see the ocean and the palm trees, that's exactly what I'm looking at.
I hear you, Mike. I hear you. So I figure, and I estimate that this is going to go on for a little bit longer, until supply outweighs demand. And we are literally at the 11th hour, because I know a lot of these mortgage deferrals are coming up, and they're not going to get renewed. A lot of them will not get renewed. They're coming up to that 5-6 month aspect of things, and they're not going to get renewed. And if they do get renewed, it's on the basis that they actually have gainful employment to return back to. So we're now in stage 3 as of Saturday in Ontario, across the board, with the exception of Windsor-Essex County. Okay.
So explain to us listening here what stage 3 is.
Well, to be honest with you, stage 3, everything starts to open up with the exception of dining rooms, so on and so forth. That's going to be obviously a no-go. But patios are opening back up. You know what I mean? Stuff like that.
I understand.
So things are starting to return back to normal to a certain degree. And businesses are now allowed to open up and do what they need to do. But I don't know that every single business is going to open back up, even if they're allowed to.
Interesting. So are you guys having, out west here, we're having major strata problems with strata. They want to double or triple the strata fees that people are paying currently because no insurance company wants to insure these towers.
Okay.
Are you guys having this issue there?
That I can't speak on, because you know what? I'm not in the condo market.
Okay.
Evan would probably know best, but I have heard that condo fees have gone up as a direct result of insurance issues. That's definitely a big concern. And there is quite a few floods that happen in these new towers.
Okay. Yeah, Steve, I'm just lost for words. I mean, I just don't understand why someone would put themselves, never mind this $1 million home we're looking at here. an average home is $1 million, okay, in Canada, depending what major city you're in, right? Ottawa's still affordable. Montreal is getting up there right now with bidding wars. I had somebody message me the other day from Quebec City, Quebec, and saying that bidding wars now are hitting up there hard. And I think New Brunswick is going to go next. Prince Edward Island is going to go next. Whoa, Stephen Williams in the house. I haven't heard from him. Sent me $10 on Super Chat. Thanks, buddy. Wow, this show is this is like the 4th Super Chat I got this month in one show. So anyway, Steve, I don't know, man. Steve, am I nuts comparing it to a city far, like comparing the Canadian housing market to the Florida housing market? Or am I trying to make, I'm just trying to make a point to show people that you could still work at 7-Eleven and pay off a mortgage. Or am I doing this wrong, Steve? Tell me, please.
Your intentions are genuine. I see where you're coming from. There's a big factor of why house prices are so cheap down in Florida. And it has everything to do with employment. But that's actually happening here now. So you're not wrong trying to tie everything in. I've spoken to a series of economists and risk guys at chartered banks, so on and so forth, and they see the unemployment really spiking. And there's a lot of people that had good paying jobs that are their jobs are no longer. That's not the case. Even from a banking sector, there is rumor that a lot of the big financial institutions are probably going to pull out of downtown Toronto. And
that's been on the agenda too. Hold on, Anthony Ruvalacaba sent me $5. Thank you so much, Anthony, Antonio. And then Aquarius sent me $5 too. Holy crap! Everyone's sending me super chats today. Steve, this is the first time this month I'm getting super chats, and I got like 7 of them this show already. Holy crap! Super chat helps the channel. I get a little bit of money. I get like 90% of it. So thanks everybody for sending me those tips. That means a lot to me. Okay, so say it again, Steve. You were saying about sorry, I got excited there for a second.
Yeah, so a lot of the big businesses, including the banks downtown, downtown Toronto, are more than likely going to really cut their square footage. They might only keep a small presence there for the purposes of mailing address and whatnot. But I think till 2021. The TD Bank, or I think it was Scotiabank. One of the big 5 or big 6 is allowing all their employees to work from home. So that's enough to support a move out of Toronto. And I think they're gonna start to pool how many people are no longer living in Toronto and have left. And they're gonna save a lot of money because they're gonna set up shop outside of Toronto. They'll set it up in Kitchener, Waterloo, London.
Why not, right?
Yeah, where it's a heck of a lot cheaper. Toronto should not be what Toronto is with respect to high rent for the buildings that they have, and high rents or high house prices in general.
Well, never mind that. Never mind that, Steve. The cold weather, 8 months of the year, all that other stuff. Thank you, Jay, for sending me $10. Jay sending me big fan, Mike, about to tail advantage off the Fed with a Refi 800 score paying off. So thank you for the $10, Jay. That should be enough money to get me to downtown Detroit. So let's get to some comments here. Good call, Jay. Someone said in the comments here, good call, Jay. And what else? Just no overseas tourists in New Zealand. And let's see if anybody has... Guys, if anyone has a question for Steve, throw it in the comments here too if you'd like. And Mitch Madden is saying house sales and price increases are real, but there is absolutely no foundation of our economy's financial system, and tax revenue is 100% fraud. I know you've been talking about fraud a lot, Steve, and what's been happening.
Yeah, fraud is actually running rampant. They're finally figuring out how many bad loans, or shouldn't say bad loans, how many fraudulent loans they actually gave out with respect to fake job letters, fake T4s, notice of assessments, so on and so forth, fake pay stubs. It's rampant. And there's still people that are out there today. If Mike, if you needed a mortgage tomorrow, I could probably make a call and get it done.
Wow.
Yeah.
So okay, now Steve, let's get back. Okay, now let's get back. Let's do a 180 on this conversation. Now, Canadians are being pushed to the border. Okay, we're seeing Windsor. I got the article right here. Windsor housing region sees a 20% jump in house prices compared to last year, with COVID and the whole 9 yards. So prices are still going up 20% in 1 year in Windsor. That's a huge jump. Where are Canadians going to go when they run out of space? Like, well, not run out of space, I'm saying what they run out of places to run to. Where are they going to go? That's why I keep throwing Florida in the mix, or South Carolina or Georgia. I keep putting that in the mix because this creates a reality for people to say, wait, all I have to do is work at 7-Eleven and be semi-productive in life, and I could own a home and kind of move forward in life. You know what I'm saying, Steve?
I understand exactly what you're saying. Just so that we're on the topic of Windsor, the people that are moving to Windsor are selling in the GTA and buying cash with no mortgage 9 times out of 10 in Windsor, because I know for a fact that a lot of lenders will not do deals in Windsor because of the unemployment issue.
Right.
They're not moving there for employment, that's for sure. They're moving there to pay, to buy a house fully paid for outright, cut a check, be done with it, close on the deal, and then, put the money in the bank and then take it from there. If they can work from home, fantastic. I think it is a great opportunity. If you can go anywhere, if you're working from home for an extended period of time, or from what it appears indefinitely now, the next 1 or 2 years you're at home until further notice. If you can go and buy a house and pay for it in cash or have little to no mortgage, and you're working remotely, by all means. And if you want to move, if you can move down to Florida, move down to Florida. I mean, chances are you're not going to be able to do that, but you get what I'm saying, Mike.
Right. But what I'm trying to show people is that, like, I'm just trying to create this awareness that you don't need the 6-figure job to own an entry-level home, is what I'm trying to say, Steve. An entry-level 2-bedroom home shouldn't be $1 million, Steve. I'm sorry. And you don't need that. There's a lot of places where you could still get by on a 3, 4, 5-figure job, a low 5-figure, you know what I'm saying? Job.
Absolutely. Yeah. There are houses that are still in, Grimsby, Brantford, that are $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 that are nice starter homes. They might need a little bit of work, eventually, but they're good starter homes. There's nothing wrong with that. You'll get a decent sized bungalow. There's stuff in Kitchener-Waterloo. There's stuff all over the place. That's the area that I can probably comment best. But everybody wants the big home, the big facade. Everybody wants, they want more than what they can chew. And, going and taking and mortgaging yourself to the point of no return. You don't know if your job's going to be there in a year from now. You don't know how bad this whole thing's going to get. You really don't.
But this is what I'm getting at, Steve. This is what I'm trying to say, Steve. And then the problem here that we're having is, if you have, let's say, the $69,000 property here, for example, your mortgage payment is estimated, this property right here, your mortgage for 69, you're looking at about maybe $400 a month, okay, for this place with these nice pools and all this stuff here, right, in Hollywood, Florida. Now, here's the deal with this. It's not that hard to make $500 a month trying to get by, where you're trying to make $4,000 or $5,000 a month to live in Canada with the free healthcare. And just imagine the amount of stress and health issues you'll bring trying to make $4,000 or $5,000 a month to cover an entry-level home mortgage. No one's looking at that either.
You're right, Mike. You're absolutely right. They're going to start to look at it because there's a lot of people that are going to have to sell. There are so many people right now that are on the verge of they were hoping that they were going to get their job back so they didn't have to sell their house. And now the bank is probably going to have to tell them to put the house for sale because they cannot continue to defer these mortgages if they do not have the capacity to repay.
Mm-hmm.
They can't have this money out. They're not going to have some debt jubilee and, allow people, to not pay their mortgage for another 6 months to a year until they find a job, and then they're going to write off the interest and do this. No, that's not how things work.
Mm-hmm.
They want to bring in some more helicopter money and extend the CERB, which I really hope they don't, because our currency is just going to go to hell in a handbasket. But in any event, that's a different situation. But imagine, Mike, you don't have to pay your credit card bill. You don't have to pay your mortgage, or everything is deferred, and you're getting $2,000 a month. Okay, that is basically going to allow you to feed your entire family and live somewhat comfortably for the last 4 or 5 months, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Once that's done, and there's no more funny money or helicopter money coming in, you know what? Shit's going to get real quick, real fast, and there's going to be panic, and it's already started. I'm telling you, Mike, it's already started. I've seen it firsthand.
I got an article here. I want to read the headline to you. BC, British Columbia, continues multi-year decline of first-time homebuyers. The entire province, Steve, they just can't find first-time homebuyers anymore, and they can't get them in the markets. And when you can't get first-time homebuyers in the markets, the housing market is the economy is what happens now, right? The entire province, not the city of Vancouver, not the city of Burnaby, not the city of Surrey, not Whistler, the entire province of BC cannot find first-time homebuyers. You know why, Steve? Because most people don't have two nickels to rub together, and I don't even know what to tell you anymore, Steve.
Well, eventually house prices have to come back to reality because no one's going to be able to qualify and buy them. Like, I mean, let's face it, Mike. Once the demographic cliff comes into play, the 18, 19, 20-year-old kids today that are going to be 25, 30 years old in the next 5 to 7 years, give or take 5 to 10 years, and they all of a sudden want to start to buy houses, and they don't have the money. Okay. Well, guess what? Eventually, the house prices have to come back in line, right? Wages aren't going up. They have to come back in line, or they're just not going to be sold. They're not going to be able to buy these houses. And everybody says, oh, they're just going to rent. Well, you know what? That doesn't work. Eventually, someone's going to want to sell a house.
Yeah.
And someone's going to buy it. You know what I mean? Next of kin is going to want to sell it out and get their cash out of the out of the property. I don't recommend anybody being a landlord. Being a landlord, you need to have one hell of an appetite, and it's not just for risk.
Yeah.
So I can promise you that's going to happen.
Okay, if you can't find the fresh blood in the market, people are gonna. Yeah, this is first-time homebuyers can't get in the in the province of BC. It's gonna get you. Watch, this headline's gonna be up in Ontario in a couple of weeks. And then you're going to see this headline up in Alberta. I don't think so. Alberta still. I had a friend that came to visit me today at my store, and he told me that he went to Alberta to look at real estate because he can't afford to live in BC anymore. So he could afford, but it's tough. So you went to Alberta, take a look around, and everything's just 1/4 of the price. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I think it's a huge eye-opener for many people. But everywhere we go, we're seeing house prices go up because people are agreeing to pay it because everything looks like a good deal when you move away from Toronto. But eventually, that train's going to stop because the money that people need in order to get it to Toronto, it's no longer going to be a good deal anymore. Because they won't be able to get that amount of money out of Toronto because the Toronto property will not be worth what it is today in the next 6 to 18 months. It will not. If we keep going the way that it is, house prices are going to plateau, and then they're going to start to recede back to where, they were about a year ago. And then I think they're going to continue to go down, because if they don't have the buyers, and the buyers don't have appetite for risk, house prices have to come back in line with wages. It's just it's fundamental principle.
Okay.
That's my outtake. I'm not saying I'm right. That's my personal opinion. And that,
like, what do we know anymore? Like, what do we know? We're not playing by the book. We're not going off of what we learned in in business school. Nothing makes sense. Nothing is going by the book. Everything's going against all odds. And now it's like, that's why I shorted a few gold companies today, small gold companies today, because that's what's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? And I have a bunch of airline stock that now, a year from now, I'm going to bring up where I'm at in a year for Lord Humongous to see, because Lord Humongous gets mad every time I bring up airline stock. You know what I'm saying? But to be very fair with you, Steve, to be very honest and fair and transparent, I just don't know what to say anymore, Steve. It's getting to a point where, like, I'm trying to create the awareness. I'm trying to make people see, like, because whenever you say, like, a house in Vancouver is this much, or a house in Toronto is this much, but a house in Florida is like 80% cheaper. But people, why I bring it up is because people always think that this expensive real estate is all over the English-speaking world. It's all over everywhere, but it's not. There's a lot of places where affordability still exists, right? But the problem is, like, Nova Scotia is cheap, like somebody, Alan, said in the comments. The problem with Nova Scotia, I think I'd have a tougher time finding employment there. Where in Florida, I think it wouldn't be hard to find employment in Florida. There's 20-something million people in Florida, right? So that's the difference, right? But like you said, it's very hard for people to get down there, right? And that's
for
why,
sure.
and that's why we have the great Canadian brain drain. The ones that could get the visa, or could get the nursing position or the doctor position down in the States, they're all taking it right now, Steve. They're not looking back anymore.
Yeah, I agree. I agree wholeheartedly. And I just want to point out Mike Banks in the comments section. He said something is actually very, very true.
Mm-hmm.
House prices don't need to be in line with wages in cities where mass laundering and crime exist. And that's absolutely true. That is a good indicator.
But we're not America, Steve. We have 5-6 major cities. Then where do we go? Like I said earlier in the show, if you're in New York State, you could live in Manhattan. You could live in the boroughs, the Bronx. You could live in Rochester. You could live in Syracuse. You could live in Buffalo. There's so many places in New York you could live in if you don't like the city you're in New York and you don't want to leave the state. What the hell do we do in Canada with our 5 cities? That's what I'm trying to say, Steve. We don't have the opportunities like other countries do.
Yeah, I agree. I understand where you're coming from, but and Mike, I'm telling you, sooner or later something's going to happen here. And when I say something's going to happen, this whole thing is probably going to come down like a ton of bricks. I don't see how they can continue to allow this to go up and up and up. I get it. They're trying to avoid, a massive amount of supply on the market and defer these mortgages so people don't just, I got to sell my house. I can't afford it anymore. That was probably the best move, because if we had 16%, okay, and if you want to say 16% of mortgages were deferred, let's just say 2 to 3% of that was probably people that were dumb and silly, took the deferral, didn't understand what compounded interest meant, were friends with Kevin Thompson, whatever it may be. So if we back that back, let's just say it's about 10 to 13% of the mortgages on the market actually needed deferrals. Imagine if you had a 10 to 12% supply hit the market in a matter of 30, 60, 90 days. You would see a catastrophic collapse.
Okay, now let me ask you this question. Now, because nothing is impossible now anymore in this housing market. What's to stop the government from stepping in and buying these properties and just holding them so the properties' values don't go down? Most of the properties that are already in Canada, like 1 in 4 properties are completely empty, owned by foreign investors. What's to stop the government to buy the other 1 in 4 and leave 2 out of 4 houses empty? What's to stop them from buying these houses up and leaving them empty and printing the money to buy these houses?
Well, if the Liberals did that, they would need to explain themselves to the Conservatives, and that would be political suicide. But I understand where you're coming from.
Well, they'll just talk about global warming. They'll ask about these houses, and they'll say, well, the pipeline and global warming, and then that's what they'll talk about. You'll ask them about the homeless situation and how so many Canadians are losing their lives on the street to fentanyl and all this crap. Oh, global warming and pipeline.
Right. Okay.
That's what happens. You ask them, okay, so what's going on with this housing? Like, why isn't there a correction? Where's the affordability? Oh, global warming and pipeline. So, I don't know.
Yeah, I hear you.
I don't know. I'm just... Alan Holwick is saying, bingo, Mike, it's all a game now. And Steve, I mean, I hope you're right. I hope I don't know, Steve. Like even to build a house, I have a friend that's looking to build a house, and he's got the land. He bought the land. They want $700,000-800,000 to build him an average size home. Nothing spectacular.
Yeah, well, he ain't gonna build anything because I don't know about you, but if you're in the Greater Toronto Area, Hamilton, Niagara, I don't care where you are. Right now, 2x4, 2x6 lumber, there's a shortage. There's a shortage on drywall. There's a shortage on bathtubs, toilets, furnaces, air conditioners, hot water tank. Yeah, I bought the last 6 that my wholesaler had, Mike. That's it. Your 40s, your 50s, your 60-gallon power vents. Anyways, I don't want to lose you. It's pretty bad. You know Goodman, right? Goodman furnaces.
Yeah, those are good ones.
I beg to differ, but anyhow, they're all right. Anyhow, about two or 3 weeks ago, everybody in their plant, once the stuff comes from China and gets assembled, nevertheless, about 2 or 3 weeks ago, everybody in that plant got up, walked out, and they haven't been back since.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's what's up. That's what's happening.
Where do they all go? St. Louis?
Sorry?
Where do they all go? St. Louis?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm sure they're at home and they didn't want to work in those conditions because of COVID-19. They were worried. Yeah. So I can see price increases coming for construction materials and products, furnaces, air conditioners, electrical boxes, conduit, all kinds of stuff. I just see things becoming more and more expensive, and heavily inflated.
Yeah. Okay, Steve, I'm going to let you go. I passed my 2 hours for the show. I just wanted to get your input on this and maybe set things straight. I just want people to know that I'm really trying to think outside the box to help people as much as possible. To try and create this awareness, even though I'm not maybe helping that many people, but I'm creating the awareness that people need to look out for how we're basically selling our damn country out to the highest bidder.
I agree. And you're doing a good job, and a lot of people watch the show, and hopefully, whether it's myself, whoever else comes on the show, gives some sort of good, indication or good information of where things are at. I tell it how it is. I know I got, 1 or 2 tough critics in the comment section. That will always be there, but hopefully there's some value added. And Mike, you're doing a great job. So good to be with you. Thanks for having me on your show. You take care, Mike. We'll talk soon.
God bless you.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
Bye. All right, guys. I'm going to wrap it up. I just hope you guys understand the what's happening. If this wasn't serious, I wouldn't be doing this show, right? I'd be doing Mike in the Nights. I'd be doing other stuff. I'd be doing videos on stuff. I'd be doing videos, don't get me wrong. But this is so serious. I just wish people knew how serious this was. And when I'm saying, oh yeah, you could move down to this place in the States and you could just work at 7-Eleven and you could get by. That still exists in many places. And I really want people to kind of think outside the box. Really think outside of I don't know. Anyways, I'm losing my connection here. Wow. I'm losing my connection. Anyways, guys, it looks like YouTube's kicking me off.